Hello and welcome to this review of Michael Collins Irish Whiskey Blend, matured and bottled in Ireland. Double distilled. Now most Irish blended whiskey you'll notice is triple distilled. This is double distilled. This particular version of Michael Collins may no longer be produced. Now it hasn't been on the market that long to start with. I can't remember the date. I'll put the date below. It's from a company called Sidney Frank Importing Company. That's who it's made for. Distilled, matured, and bottled in Ireland by Cooley Distillery PLC. I don't think it's made at Cooley anymore because this man, Sidney Frank, he got really wealthy by promoting Grey Goose vodka. That was his brand, and he had these other smaller brands like this one. His company was sold off after he died a few years ago on a plane. He was elderly, and I guess he didn't want to give up the company, and he had some sort of attack on a plane, medical emergency, and he died on the plane. So it looks like his family quickly sold it off. So the Sazerac company bought the rights to Michael Collins, but they're not listing this one on the website, but they might still make it, but this is not the one they're promoting. It says boutique production. Well, if you look at the availability, it probably is, because I've never seen it but at one or two stores in Louisiana, and I bought this at well, my friend David bought it and said he's going to give it to me. I said, no, don't do that, I'll pay you. And then he said, okay, and it was $25 after tax. So he got this at International Market, and I had seen it there for a couple of years, and I was planning to buy it, but he beat me to it, and then I bought it from him. So it is double distilled for proper balance, then matured in bourbon seasoned casks from 4 to 12 years. So it's average of about 8 years old. I don't know why they list it like that, 4 to 12 years. A blend of malt Irish whiskey and grain Irish whiskey. Probably 80% grain whiskey and 20% single malt whiskey. Inspired by the legend of Michael Collins, leader of Irish independence. One of the leaders, at least. And it's showing the date 1921, the year the Irish Treaty was signed. I don't know the exact name of it. Ended the war of rebellion against Great Britain. And then that treaty went into effect in December 1922, and it created the Irish Free State, a self-governing dominion, but still within the British Empire, and they did recognize King George V as King of Ireland. Northern Ireland was transformed or became basically a British country, a British territory, and remained part of the United Kingdom, which is still part of today, still part of the United Kingdom. But there was a big struggle between Collins and his faction, the Irish Free State faction, and then the IRA, Irish Republican Army, who said, no, we can't sign that treaty because we're not going to recognize King George as the King of Ireland. And Michael Collins is more moderate, is saying, well, it's not freedom, but it's the freedom to become free, is what his quote was, something like that. It's not freedom, but it's the freedom to become free. And then the Irish Civil War broke out between the Free State government, which was willing to compromise, and the IRA, which wanted to have a republic with their own president, which they have today. Ireland has its own president since 1949. Okay, the Irish Republic Act. All right, anyway, enough of the history. It says okay, I got the date here. The 29th of September, 2011. And I think this did debut in 2011, but like I said, I could be wrong. There's a website listing on this bottle, but if you look it up, it doesn't work because the company's gone. Okay, and then Michael Collins was killed in 1922 in an ambush, which some people find was very suspicious and they say maybe the IRA rebels didn't do it. Some people think maybe it was part of the government, some members of the government who did not like him, and they tried to make it look like the IRA did it, but I don't know the answer. All right, anyway. It's got a golden appearance. I have two gingers, which is a double distilled Irish whiskey, and that came out in that might have been 2011 also. I can't remember every date. Okay, clear. Yes, very clear. All right, it's getting warm, so let me get out the sun. Get this thing done here. Yeah, pungent grains. The malted barley, and then the grain whiskey, which is probably maize. If you live in Ireland, they call it maize, or we say corn in the United States. Yeah, nice. Doesn't smell really remarkably different from other Irish whiskeys. We did a duo review, and we were positive towards it. And that was at David's house, so now this is the solo review. All right, that's the first time I had it, and the only time. This is the second. Yeah, nice. You get a little oak from those ex-bourbon barrels. Like they say, seasoned, meaning used. Like automobiles, they don't say used cars anymore. The dealership says pre-owned. All right. It's sweet. Another normal Irish whiskey flavor, sugar, sweetness. There's bread, white bread from the single malt. There's the grain, like the sweetness coming from the, I would imagine, the sweet corn. It's medium bodied, and it has a mostly dry finish. So it's very smooth and enjoyable. Now, it's very woody. I noticed more oak in this one, more oak in this one than the other Irish whiskeys I have. But will I be able to tell it apart from the other Irish whiskeys I have? I don't know. I think I will, but that's going to necessitate blind taste tests, and I do those live. So I'm going to have to bring it into blind taste tests, taste challenges against the Jameson and the Paddies, or Paddy, depending on which bottle you get, or in the Bushmills, the two gingers, Iden Stills, and others that I've got. So we'll see how it does. I'm thinking it's going to compete very well. So score here, yeah, I think it deserves an A. I'm going to go with 9.3 out of 10. A most excellent Irish whiskey, 9.3, and if I'm thinking correctly, that was the score I gave it in the duo. But if I'm thinking correctly, so 9.3 out of 10, and I'm going to end this review by saying y'all go to Ireland and take an Irish whiskey distillery tour.